This is the second part of the today's premium video. In this video, I will generate below daily time frame related reports. I am Pratap here. Today is the 27th February 2025. First, let us find the stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. 12 stocks are filtered. Next, 125 minutes time frame, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 11 stocks. You need to pause the video before move on to the next report. Pause the video, study, and then proceed to the next report. If you are not aware of the structure of this report, complete the training lesson 21.1. In that video, I explained all the columns, their abbreviations in detail, and the values also I explained. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. So let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. NIFTY Private Bank, it is not listed in F&O, so not focusing on this high liquidity zone. Cummins is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Oberoi Realty is having a high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We identified two high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minute supply zones. Hindalco is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have identified only one high liquidity supply zone, 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone from this list. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes, stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 15 stocks. Next, 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes, stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 12 stocks. Out of these 12, how many are having ITF demand zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 15 minutes demand zone Confluence with 75 minutes demand zone. I am enabling the filter. We got 8 stocks. And a couple of stocks are pierced zones. You can ignore them. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. So let's verify how many of these supply zones are having ITF Confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. I enable the filter. Only one stock is having ITF Confluence. That means this 15 minute supply zone is overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Out of these 9, how many are having ITF demand zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. We got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, first one is pierced. You can ignore this stock. Okay, next for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of these 6, how many are having ITF supply zone Confluence? Let us verify. that is 5-minute supply zone with 15-minute supply zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter we got 3 stocks. So these 3 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zones. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones, also identified 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Next, Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain below daily time frame. In the part 1 video, you can identify daily and above time frames supply demand zone chain. Let's start with Nifty. So generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Sixteenth is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Okay, next 75 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Seventeenth is the nearest 75 minutes demand zone to the closing price. Okay, next 25 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Twenty-third is the nearest demand zone to the closing price. Let me scroll the list down and put it in the center so that you can find equal number. Okay, next 15 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. Let me scroll the list down. Here 38 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay, next 5 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. In the second page also all are supply zones. Let me further scroll the list down. So 69 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Sorry, 68, not 69, 68. This is the high liquidity zone. Today also it gave support to the Nifty. Okay. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Start with 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next 75 minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next 25 minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next 15 minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. 24th is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me arrange in the center. Okay. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. All these are all supply zones. 32 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, Pierce demand zone. Okay. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will move on to bullish and bearish trade setups for weekly, daily and hourly income trades. For weekly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12, and 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means this 75 minutes demand zone is not pierced. So with these filters we got only 2 stocks. Currently these 2 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and these entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. We have 2 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 2, let us check the probability of getting success based on the zone confluence. First, LTF ITF demand zone confluence, that is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter and both the stocks are filtered. That means these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone, and daily trend is up in both these stocks. And if the daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, there can be even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA confluence at daily, I am setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Both are having daily demand zones with the daily EMA. In the daily demand zone, our 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped. So that's why they are high probability trade setup supported stocks. Next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence are available for these stocks. So in the EMA confluence, I am removing this EMA filter because this is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. First, demand zone confluence, LTF, ITF, HTF zone filters let us set. First filter is 75 with daily demand zone, already enabled. Second filter 75 demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we did not get any stocks. So none of the stocks are having LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence. Okay, next we will look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So at 75 minutes, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 13 stocks. So at present, these 13 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. So we should focus on these supply zones. These are the 75 minutes supply zones, and some of the supply zones are high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can further filter the zones based on the Zone confluence to check the high probability to get success, to check the probability. If zone confluence is there, they have a little extra probability to get success. First, let us look into LTF ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes with daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 9 stocks out of 13. So these 9 stocks, in these 9 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. So if daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then these stocks are even more high probability to get success. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter. Daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is downtrend for all the stocks. So now we got 7 stocks. So these 7 stocks are having more probability to get the success, because these 75 minute supply zones overlapped with daily, and that daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. This is based on LTF, ITF demand, supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence, and then daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone, and the weekly trend is down in all the 3 stocks. If weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, then these stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported zones, the 75 minutes supply zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Out of 3, 2 stocks are filtered. These 2 are having even more high probability to get the success. Moreover, these 2 are high liquidity zones. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will look into daily income trade, bullish and bearish trade setups. So entry time frame is 15 minutes for daily income trade. Entry zone is a demand zone for bullish trade setup, and also in bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhances score 12, and 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. So these 4 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So we have 4 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 4, there could be some high probability trade setup supported zones based on zone confluence. Let us verify. Let us check first LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, 2 stocks are filtered. So that means in these 2 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone, and 15 minutes trend is 75 minutes trend is uptrend. If 75 minutes trend is 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA, probably the stock could be even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. The EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So none of those stocks are having. Fine. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. So 15 and 75 already enabled. Next 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got only one stock. This is an indices and trend is sideways, and daily zone with daily EMA confluence does not give any advantage in sideways trend because the daily trend is sideways. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone, and bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum odd and enhance score 12. And 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 18 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and all these entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. Let me scroll the list down. So total 18 stocks are filtered. Out of these 18 15-minute supply zones, how many supply zones are having zone confluence? Let us verify. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. So let us apply this filter. Out of the 18 stocks, we got 15 stocks after applying the filter. That means in all these 15 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone in all these 15 stocks. And the 75-minute trend is down in all these stocks because it is bearish trade setup. And if the 75-minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, then these 15-minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame. Why 75 minutes? Because 15-minute supply zone is overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. That's why we are looking for 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. We got two stocks. So these two 15-minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. This is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes, 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set three filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got 5 stocks. That means in all these 5 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in 3 stocks. Second, fourth and fifth. In these 3 stocks, if any of the daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then these 15-minute supply zones are having even more high priority to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am checking daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. And the trend should not be sideways on the daily because few stocks are having sideways. We don't want. Trend is downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. HTF trend. See, we got all the 3 stocks. So that means all the 3 stocks daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. In the daily supply zone, our 15-minute supply zone is overlapped. It's a fine-tuned zones. All these 15-minute supply zones are fine-tuned zones in the daily supply zones. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, let us look into hourly income trade supported stocks. Hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone. Demand zone in bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd and enhanced score 12. And 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. And we have 5 minutes demand zones. Some are high liquidity zones. Out of these 5, how many are having ITF demand zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 5, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. And 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of these 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA, probably those stocks might be even having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, at 15 minutes time frame, I'm checking 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. None of the stocks are having. Okay, this is the LTF, ITF demand zone Confluence and ITF EMA Confluence. I'm removing the filter. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone Confluence. First filter already enabled. Second filter 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. Third filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. That means in these 2 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. That means these 5 minutes demand zones are fine-tuned demand zones. Fine-tuned 5 minutes demand zones in 75 minutes zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in both the stocks. If any of the 75 minutes, these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, then these 5 minutes zones could be having more probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA Confluence at 75 minutes time frame. I am checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. So none of them are having daily EMA Confluence. So this is about bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. And 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 8 stocks. So these 8 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 8 5 minute supply zones, how many are having ITF Confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone Confluence. So in the supply zone Confluence, I am enabling the filter 5 minute supply zone Confluence with 15 minute supply zone. So with this filter, we got all 8 stocks. That means in all these 8 stocks, these supply zones, 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend is down in all these stocks. If any of those 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, then these 5 minute supply zones could be having more probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at 15 minutes time frame, checking 15 minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. So none of them are having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, this is based on ITF specific. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF, zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 5-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. Third filter, 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, these 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. That means all these 5-minute supply zones are fine-tuned supply zones inside 75-minute supply zone. And that 75-minute supply zone downtrend supported stocks, we have 3 stocks. If any of those 3 stocks are having the 75-minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence, then these 5-minute supply zones might be having more probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am checking 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. And also trend should not be sideways at 75 minutes. So that's why we are selecting downtrend, because it is bearish trade setup. So none of them are having EMA confluence. None of the 75-minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. In the final report, I am generating stop buffers based on daily ATR. Let me quickly scroll the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there, pause the video. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. Okay, this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.